Hi everybody, this is Zoe from No Safer Place. Now today I'm doing a video that I thought was an original idea. I was laying in bed and I was like, wow, this idea would be good, thought of loads of ideas for it. Then I thought, maybe I'll check YouTube first just to see if anyone has done it. Turns out a few people have, so this isn't original, but hope you like it anyway. Today I'm going to be talking about why I reread books. From the other people that have done this, obviously my answers might differ from the other people that have done this video. I purposefully haven't watched theirs so I didn't get any inspiration from them. I just laid in bed and wrote down all the reasons why I enjoy rereading books. So let's get on with the video. If you see me looking down a lot, it's because my phone's here and I've got notes on here because I wrote down just a really long list. The first one, and probably the main reason I have to reread books, is because I skim read. I know, it is terrible and I am so bad for it. I think I'm probably one of the worst people out there for it. What I mean by skim reading is I will skim over the words, just like glance over the words, and if I feel like nothing really important is happening, I'll just keep glancing until I feel like something looks slightly important, and then I'll stop and read properly. And I know that that's terrible and you don't really get the proper feel for books, but that is why I reread them, because if I read it and I really like it, then usually straight after I'll go back and read it again because I want to take in all the information I more than likely missed the first time I read it. Now I skim read for two reasons. One is if I want to get to the end. So if I don't like a book and it's not terrible enough for me to just put the book down and I just want to finish it, I will just skim read and be like, oh, just get the book out of the way, I'll just quickly skim read. And the other reason I skim read is because I'm too excited to know what happens. So if I'm waiting for a particular scene or I know something exciting's coming up, I will just be like, I just need to get there, I'm just going to read as fast as possible. Which, you know, isn't the best way to do things and just makes your reading time twice as long when you have to read the damn thing again. The second reason I reread books is reading slumps. I regularly get into reading slumps, especially between January and June. Not sure why, but it's always been that way. And whatever books I read in that 6 months, I feel like my opinion of them is definitely jaded. I feel like my moods are a lot lower, I rate a lot harsher, I'm just not as happy. And I don't know why that is. For example, last year I read 15 books from January to June, and then from July to December I read 85. That's how motivated I am for the second half of the year compared to the first. So all the books that I read in the first half of the year, I usually reread because I feel like I may have been a little bit harsh or didn't enjoy it as much as I would have done. Really hate reading slumps. The third reason I reread books is reading when I'm in a bad headspace. Kind of the same as earlier when I'm in a reading slump, but also if I'm in a terrible mood or if something's going on in my life and I try to read a book, I've found that I usually enjoy it less than I would if I'm in a good mental health space. Of course, that one's kind of a given. But if you see me rereading a book that I read when I wasn't in a reading slump, that's probably the reason why. I also reread books to help me get through things. So if there is good representation of something that I'm going through or a character is experiencing the same situation I am, I love to reread books for that reason, just to feel like I'm not alone, that I've got some kind of comfort, and just to escape into a world where I'm not the one dealing with it. I just find that really reassuring and calming. Obviously that's not for everyone. Some people hate thinking about the thing they're going through, but for me I find it really reassuring. So another reason is to find quotes. For example, I just finished Notes on a Nervous Planet a few weeks ago. I absolutely adored it. There was so much that I wanted to take away from it. So I think a few days after I'd finished it the first time, I picked it up again straight away, got my post-it notes out and just highlighted every fantastic quote that I wanted to take away with me, just to look at when I'm having a bad day. And I think that's a really good idea if you find a book that has a lot of quotes in it. Just reread and take away all the best bits. And the last reason that I reread books is a bit of a given really, because I flippin' love it. For example, The Bone Season and After the Fire and Dracula. I don't even want to know how many times I've reread those books. I mean, After the Fire, considering it's only been out just over a year, I feel like I've read it at least 15 times, at least. The Bone Season came out in 2013, so it's been out a while, but I've read that a similar amount of times actually. Anna Dracula, I've been reading that since I was about 12, multiple times every year. So I think rereading favourites just because you want to really helps you get out of reading slumps. So if you need advice for that, rereading favourites is always what I do to help me get out, because it helps me rediscover my love of reading and remind me why I loved it so much in the first place. Let me know in the comments below why you reread books, or if you reread books at all. I'm assuming some of you don't. Actually, I know a few people that will buy a book, read it, and then pass it on or get rid of it. Now for me, that's just incomprehensible. No, I do get rid of books, and a lot of books actually, but if I really enjoy a book, I can just never part with it. I'm just a little book hoarder in that respect. Leave your thoughts in the comments box below, because you know I love a discussion. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see more of on my channel, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye.